He was the only rider who beat Valentino Rossi to world championships on equal machinery. Not once, but twice.
Valentino has won a lot of world titles, but for me, he's not a god.
Jorge Lorenzo takes the 2010 MotoGP World Championship.
He was the man who wasn't broken by Rossi's legendary mind games. In fact, he went along with it and thrived on it. How did he do it? He forced Ducati, a factory famous for ignoring its riders, to listen. And when they did, he won. And still, a question lingers. If Jorge Lorenzo had stayed at Ducati, could he have been the man to stop Marc Márquez?
It's Ducati versus Honda.
This is not just the story of a champion. This is the story of Jorge Lorenzo, the master of precision. May 4th, 1987. Palma de Mallorca. Chicho Lorenzo, a mechanic and passionate racing enthusiast, became father to Jorge. From the very start, Chicho had a plan. At just 3 years old, Jorge had his first bike, built by his father's own hands. Morning training, evening laps, no excuses. But for Chicho, it wasn't enough to simply ride. He drilled into Jorge the value of perfection and consistency. Every corner had to be studied, every braking point repeated, every mistake corrected until it disappeared. He told his son, "It's not about being fast once. It's about being fast every single time." By 6, Jorge was already studying racing lines, the physics of speed. By 10, he was a national mini-GP champion. But Spain's strict age limits locked him out of major competition. So the family sold everything, lived in a motorhome, and chased circuits across Europe. Some called it reckless. History would call it visionary. And in 2002, when the 125cc age limit was lowered to 15, Jorge Lorenzo made his World Championship debut at Jerez, on the very weekend of his 15th birthday. In 2003, at just 15 years old, Jorge became the youngest ever to race a Grand Prix weekend. It wasn't an easy start, but talent always finds its moment. That year, he stood on the podium twice, one of them a victory in Rio de Janeiro, his first Grand Prix win.
Lorenzo, what a ride from the young Spaniard. First ever victory for the teenager.
It wasn't just a win, it was a message. The 2004 season brought flashes of brilliance and frustration, moments of speed followed by mistakes. Still, every race taught him something new. Jorge was learning that perfection isn't found, it's built. Then came 2005, his first full season in the 250cc World Championship. Riding for Fortuna Honda, he scored 6 podiums, proving he wasn't just surviving, he was evolving, sharpening. 2006 changed everything. 8 wins, 11 podiums, and a world title at just 19. While others attacked corners on instinct, Lorenzo dissected them like equations. He found speed not through chaos, but through geometry. They called it por fuera.
Por fuera Lorenzo, por fuera Pedrosa.
Around the outside. To others, it looked reckless. To him, it was science. And then 2007, 9 wins, 12 podiums, another title.
Trophy to the world champion, Jorge Lorenzo.
Now there was no doubt. Jorge Lorenzo wasn't just fast, he was methodical. Even before he lifted that second crown, destiny was moving. In July 2006, Yamaha had already signed him to a MotoGP contract, 18 months before his debut. He wasn't just climbing the ranks anymore, he was about to step into the arena of legends. 2008, Yamaha's bold gamble. Jorge Lorenzo, the newcomer, alongside Valentino Rossi, the living legend who ruled MotoGP both on and off the track. From day one, it was psychological warfare. Rossi's mind games were famous. The press conference jokes, the color symbolism, the swagger that intimidated everyone. But Lorenzo didn't flinch. He played back, louder, cleverly, and with precision. While Rossi wore his black and yellow boots and gloves, Lorenzo appeared in red and white. Intentional or not, it sent a message. He could do what Rossi did, and sometimes better. The rookie struck immediately. pole position in his first MotoGP qualifying, victory in just his third race. But MotoGP was brutal.
His first victory, Lorenzo on course for victory.
He wins the Portuguese Grand Prix here in Estoril.
Shanghai, Barcelona, Laguna Seca, 3 spectacular crashes. Each time he hit the ground. Each time he got up. Each time he came back stronger. Through it all, he learned something vital. MotoGP bikes weren't motorcycles. They were animals. Unforgiving. Unpredictable. By 2009, the scars had become lessons. 4 wins, 12 podiums. The precision grew sharper, the confidence stronger. And Rossi's mind games? They didn't work. The kid from Mallorca could now stand in the same garage, under the same spotlight, and thrive. The question was no longer if he could beat Rossi. It was when.
Lorenzo gets close to the back and Rossi is beating him. What a motorcycle race. What a Grand Prix.
2010 answered everything. It was the year Jorge Lorenzo stepped out of Rossi's shadow. From the opening rounds, he was unstoppable. Smooth, calm, surgically precise. At Mugello, Rossi's crash changed everything. A broken right leg, the unthinkable. For the first time, Rossi was sidelined, and the spotlight shifted entirely to Lorenzo. After Rossi returned mid-year, back on form, and hungry to prove a point, the tension reached its peak. Rossi demanded total separation. No data sharing, no communication. Yamaha put up a wall between the two factory crews. Even with MotoGP's single-tire rule in place, their split wasn't about tires. It was pure rivalry. Lorenzo didn't need mind games. His results spoke. Every victory, every lap, every calm interview became its own quiet message. The apprentice had become the master. 9 wins, 16 podiums, 383 points, a MotoGP record. His telemetry showed laps identical to the millisecond. They called him the PlayStation Rider. And most importantly, he had beaten Rossi to the World Championship.
Valentino Rossi wins the Malaysian Grand Prix.
Jorge Lorenzo takes the 2010 MotoGP World Championship.
Same bike, same team, same Yamaha. 2010 wasn't just Lorenzo's first title. It was the moment he took control of the MotoGP era. When Rossi left for Ducati, Lorenzo led Yamaha into a new era. 2012 was another masterclass. 6 wins, 16 podiums, a second MotoGP title.
Jorge Lorenzo crosses the line and clinches the 2012 MotoGP World Championship.
He perfected what riders later called the Lorenzo corner. Wide, smooth, surgical. But in the shadows, a new name was rising. Marc Márquez. 2013. Marc Márquez burst into MotoGP. Wild, fearless, untamed. His battles with Lorenzo became legend. Chaos versus control. Instinct versus calculation. 2014 was more of the same. Another intense duel, another test of endurance. Márquez dominated, but Lorenzo's precision kept Yamaha in the fight. Even in defeat, he remained the master of rhythm. Smooth, steady, exact.
What a race at the front!
Look at this!
Wow, wow, wow! Lorenzo means business. Marquez means business. Lorenzo is so determined to win this one, isn't he?
2015, a season that divided the MotoGP world. Valentino Rossi led early, driven by emotion and experience. Lorenzo trailed behind, quiet, methodical, patient. But from Jerez to Brno, he delivered a masterclass. 4 consecutive victories. Every lap led from lights to flag. Pure control. Pure precision. As the season reached its climax, tension turned into chaos. In Malaysia, Rossi and Márquez clashed, a moment that changed everything. Rossi accused Márquez of interfering.
He play with us very much. Target is not just to win the race. Try to take more points on me.
Márquez claimed he was just racing. The world took sides. Amid the storm, Lorenzo stayed silent, focused only on the stopwatch. At Valencia, the final race of the year, he did what he always did best, executed perfection under pressure. He led from start to finish to claim his 5th World Championship.
Jorge Lorenzo, 2015 MotoGP World Champion.
And his 3rd in MotoGP. 7 wins, 12 podiums, a season of surgical precision. No mind games, no drama, just results. Until this day, he remains the only rider ever to defeat a fully fit Marc Márquez for a MotoGP world title. Factory bike versus factory bike. Jorge Lorenzo simply did what he always had. Let the lap times speak for him. 2016 marked the end of an era. Jorge Lorenzo's final season in Yamaha colors, the team that defined his greatness. The year began with flashes of brilliance. A flawless victory in Qatar, another masterclass at Le Mans. But the new Michelin tires, evolving electronics,
Sepang testing for MotoGP riders and teams to really get to grips with the new Michelin tires.
and unpredictable weather made consistency harder than ever.
Especially, I'm very happy with the front because Michelin much better front tires.
There were moments of frustration, clashes on track, and the growing awareness that his Yamaha story was nearing its final page. Yet at Valencia, the closing chapter of the season, he delivered one last reminder of who he truly was. Pole position, fastest lap, total control. He led every single lap on his way to victory, his 44th MotoGP win, and the perfect farewell. In 2017, another gamble, Jorge Lorenzo joined Ducati, a factory known for power, aggression, and unpredictability. At first, it was a disaster. The Desmosedici was a monster, fast on the straights, but heavy on the arms, violent under braking, and unwilling to turn the way Lorenzo needed. Ducati didn't adapt to riders. They built bikes that riders had to adapt to. But Lorenzo wasn't just another rider. He pushed back. He demanded changes.
And some settings improve when I start dropping my pace because the full consumption that give us less power.
To the fuel tank geometry, the ergonomics, and the chassis balance. The original tank gave him no support under braking, exhausting his arms mid-race. He couldn't carry his trademark corner speed. For months, his feedback went unheard. But eventually, Ducati listened. They reshaped the tank, adjusted the seat position, and refined the frame to improve cornering feel and mid-corner stability. And when those changes arrived, everything clicked. Mugello, June 2018. A dominant victory.
Jorge Lorenzo is back in business. He wins for Ducati here in Mugello.
Catalunya, 2 weeks later. Back-to-back triumph.
Jorge Lorenzo yet again. He is back. Double delights for Jorge Lorenzo here in Barcelona.
Austria, a last-lap duel with Márquez. Lorenzo won again. 3 wins in 2018 proved it.
A brilliant effort from Marc Márquez and a brilliant fight. Dovizioso at the Red Bull ring.
When the bike fit his style, Jorge Lorenzo could beat anyone. But it came too late. By the time Ducati finally listened, Lorenzo had already signed with Honda, not by choice, but because Ducati refused to renew his contract. Just as the bike was becoming his, the partnership was ending. And the question remains, if he had stayed at Ducati, could he have been the man to stop Marc Márquez? 2019 Honda's Dream Team. Márquez and Lorenzo. 2 world champions. 1 garage. On paper, unbeatable. But MotoGP doesn't care about dreams. The RC213V was developed heavily around the riding style of Marc Márquez, one that thrives on ferocious braking and radical changes of direction. Lorenzo, by contrast, had built his success on bikes like the Yamaha M1, machines that rewarded smooth entry, precision, and momentum. The result? He wasn't able to unlock the Honda's potential because the bike demanded violent inputs that were completely counterintuitive to his natural approach. The RC213V demanded a wild, physical style, the opposite of Lorenzo's precision. He fought to tame it, but the bike fought back harder. Then came Assen, a brutal high side. Fractures to his T6 and T8 vertebrae. The pain was constant, breathing hurt. Even after returning, every lap was agony. For the first time in his life, Jorge Lorenzo couldn't trust his own body. He wasn't afraid of crashing. He was afraid of not being perfect anymore. He had lost the confidence and the willingness to take risks, the two things that once made him unbeatable. By season's end, he knew the truth. He could still ride, but not like Jorge Lorenzo. On November 17, 2019, at Valencia, he announced his retirement.
It will be my last race in MotoGP. I will retire as a professional racer.
Calm voice, tired eyes, acceptance. He wasn't broken. He wasn't beaten. He simply knew that his body could no longer match his mind's precision. The perfect lap had already been completed. In 2022, Jorge Lorenzo was officially inducted into the MotoGP Hall of Fame, forever joining the legends he once raced against. 5 World Championships, 68 Grand Prix victories, 152 podiums, numbers that place him among the elite, alongside names like Mick Doohan, Kevin Schwantz, and Casey Stoner. This is the story of the MotoGP legend Jorge Lorenzo, the master of precision.